Inside Michigan basketball, delivered by UPS. From figuring it out to getting it done, UPS is here to help. Visit solvers.ups.com to learn more. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By Abso Pure Water, the official bottled water of the Michigan Wolverines. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory.
Michigan was in desperate need of a bounce-back effort on Saturday afternoon against Delaware State. After getting humbled in Dallas on Tuesday night to 19th-ranked SMU, Michigan felt like they needed to do some soul-searching. They did that through film and practice, and John Beilein made sure before the game against the Hornets, his team was reminded of how important it was to show a little grit and a little heart.
This was a great week for us to just get better, to learn. Sometimes it's hard to learn, but you got to take some hits. You got to get a hit punched right in the mouth to learn. And just thinking about what we learned this week. So that was a hard week for us, a hard week for all of us, right? There's a time right now where you take that and you brood about it or you make something happen out of it.
Sir.
At 12 o'clock, we got to make this happen. You understand?
Well, your team followed your advice to a T. You needed to jump on Delaware State. You did so, and you never looked back.
No, we really got off to a good start. I thought our defense was just solid the whole time. It was a word. I mean, we're taking bad angles before this. SMU, our angles were awful, whether off the ball, on the ball, and we just focused on that the last 2 days. And it's amazing. Now, this Delaware State is no SMU, but we did make growth in several areas defensively because, frankly, you can't score enough points in the half court. You got to score in transition, and you can't get in transition unless you get stopped.
It's interesting because you told me before the game, our issue isn't about toughness. It's more about being in the right place at the right time and learning from some of our mistakes. Your club seems to have taken a big step in that regard.
Well, you can't be tough if you're not in position to do it. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be at a position where you can make a stop, what Bobby Knight used to say, be in position to be in position. And so you can't take a charge. You can't get a defensive rebound if the other guy's inside of you because you're staring at the ball. So, yeah, we have to get tougher without question. But we could be the toughest dudes in the world, but if the guy's on the inside of us because we're staring at the ball, it doesn't make it there. What are you going to do then? Push him in the back? Right. So it's part both of these things. We got really good kids. We need a nasty edge on the floor, and we got to be in better position.
Counted at least 4 charges, and that's what your team prides itself on. But offensively as well, you shoot better than 51%. You put 6 in double figures. Let's talk about a couple of kids who really seem to have taken a bigger leap. Ricky Doyle's one of those guys. He actually caught the ball really well. I know that sounds simple, but it's really important for a big guy like that to have softer hands.
No, really, and he's been working right in here. He's been working on his own. He takes the toss back. It's a machine. You throw the ball off, and it comes firing back at you. He's been working extra time on his own to make sure that he can catch the ball. It's frustrating for our guards. It's frustrating for him when we got him open. SMU twice, we had it right open, and we couldn't finish a layup, and those are big points in a game.
Cam Chapman seems to have found his confidence with his shot a little bit.
Yeah, it's developing. It's so slow right now, but it is getting better. It has a better chance of going in now than it did last year. But Mo, Matt, that doesn't have to be his deal right now. I think down the road, that's his deal, that he can be able to do both, be a pick and pop for type of man. But right now, we need nitty gritty stuff out of him. We need rebounds, defense, use that great passing ability that he has. You know, that can complement. He's a great teammate. We need him to talk more. All these things are the things that are important for camp.
You and your staff constantly preach about being unselfish. I don't know if there's anybody more unselfish than Andrew Dockich. Last year, burned a red shirt because John Beilein needed him when Derek Walton went down. Derek Walton down, Spike Albrecht gone. He burns the red shirt yet again, and a career-high 4 points and 3 assists.
Well, here's what's happening is that last year he had that time to play, and he realized that this is harder than I think. Now, put that in perspective. His first game was at Michigan State, and so he's learned a lot. And you can go through shock when you go on the road for the first times, and right now he is much more comfortable in adversity And we need to give him as many minutes as we can right now because we're going to need him.
Lastly, Zach Irvin still trying to find his long-range jumper. Didn't hit a 3 against Delaware State, but he is finding ways to make him impact in other ways. Against SMU, he had a career-high 9 assists, and against Delaware State, he reached double digits, but he also had 8 rebounds.
No, he's doing a lot of good things right now. You know, so as he continues to work through him, Matt, when we're in practice, you know, and he's shooting in rhythm, he's beautiful with his shot. But in games right now, he's having trouble finding a rhythm. And so we got to just keep working on it so he's not thinking about it. It's second nature. But the other things that he's doing, the rebounding, running the fast break, I had him playing point guard a little bit today. He's becoming a really good player.
Second all-time meeting between the Wolverines and 19th-ranked SMU. The Wolverines expecting a 5th straight win and a little revenge after falling at home to SMU last season. This one was tight early because of the defensive intensity. Neither team shot very well in the early part of the first. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman started a 2nd straight game for the injured Derek Walton, and he made his presence felt with 6 early points.
Rahman, a strong drive off the high glass with the left hand to give Michigan their first lead at 6-5.
But Michigan hit just 9 of their first 27 shots and trailed by 14. The Mustangs went on separate 10-0 and 9-2 runs, led by Nick Moore's 15 points and Jordan Tolbert's 10 points. They built the lead by crashing the glass and scoring inside. SMU scored 16 of their points in the paint and owned the rebounding battle 20-9 at the break. Michigan started the second half with some hope thanks to triples from Duncan Robinson and Zach Irvin.
Irvin with a drive, right side, hop step in the lane, kick out. Robinson wide open for 3. Got it. Zach Irvin turns the corner, top of the arc 3 on the way, off the glass and through.
But they couldn't get stops at the other end. Jordan Tolbert closed with 9 dunks en route to a season-best 23 points and 9 rebounds. Keith Frazier added 15, and the Mustangs shot better than 50% from the floor while holding Michigan to just 35% from the field. The biggest discrepancy was on the glass, where the home team held a decisive 45-20 advantage. Michigan falls, and falls hard, 82-58.
It's been a challenging schedule for John Beilein and the Wolverines. The latest challenge was losing in Dallas to SMU, ranked 19th in the country. There's a reason they're undefeated. They're big, they're strong inside, and they really like to play bully ball. What did you learn against the Mustangs?
No, they're just a terrific team. Their big men are really good, and they lost Kennedy early. I wish he probably wouldn't have got injured because Tolbert was so very, very good. So we are really we're really blessed to have that opportunity to learn what it's going to be like in the Big Ten. That's what we're going to face with many teams, and that you cannot play tough without being physical. And we needed to do that, and there was none of that going on.
And you won't see that happen ever again, I would guess, that Karis LeVert goes 1 for 13 and even struggled at the free throw line. We're talking about a guy who shoots 90% from the stripe, and yet he only hit 50% of his free throws that day. It was just one of those nights, wasn't it?
It was a bit of a perfect storm there. We had travel issues. Karis was out. Derek Walton could not play. We sort of thought he could play going into it, and then all of a sudden we saw in our shoot-around that day it wasn't the best idea. And so we had a lot of things that are going on there, and then we just didn't play well, and we're playing against a team that really knows how to play with a different style than we ever see. So we learned a big lesson, and we'll get better through it.
Coffee with the Coach is brought to you by Tim Hortons. This is a good one from Scott in Bloomfield. He asked this: how much will you miss, and what will you miss mostly about Spike Albrecht?
Well, he is by far, and we have good passers. He is by far our best passer. He sees the game in such slow motion. And then the things that he's done in games, the big jump shots that he's hit in games, or the steals, or things like that, have been, you know, he doesn't play a lot of minutes, you know, maybe 15 to 20. Last year he was way over his minute. He would make big plays in games over and over again that other people don't see, but maybe it was the pass that led to the pass. Maybe it was the lob to the rim. I still remember Stanford. They're in this 2-zone, and we can't solve it. And he throws it over the top to John Horford, who dunks it. The shot clock was down. And it was like, put us up by 4, we win the game. He's made so many plays that I think others noticed, but coaches really noticed.
Don't go away. We have a sibling rivalry story on the way. But up next, tears, appreciation, and a tough decision for our Ironman of the week. Time for this week's Al Rose Steel Ironman of the Week. Here's Ed Kingerski.
Who's the most eligible bachelor on campus right now? Spike Albrecht!
Michael Spike Albrecht arrived at U of M as a walk-on in 2012. If only we knew then what awaited us.
Oh, the steal by Albrecht! What a play!
The 5'11 guard played in all 39 games, saving his best performance for the national title tilt against Louisville. 17 points.
Tosses to Albrecht. Pull-up jumper for three. Bingo!
4 3-pointers.
Forced to take a three. Oh, my! Come on! Spike Albrecht buried it for the 4th straight triple of the half, and Michigan has a 10-point lead.
Nearly shooting the Wolverines to a championship.
Drives again. Finger roll. Good! Oh, M-O-P! My goodness.
As a sophomore, Spike helped U of M to its first outright Big Ten crown in 28 years. His guile and court sense are uncanny, intangibles every coach dreams of, traits that rub off on his teammates.
Spike's one of the best point guards I've played with ever. I mean, he's one of my best friends, so, I mean, for him not to be able to play anymore, it's tough for all of us, you know, but we just got to come together and win these games for him.
You know, I've learned so much from Spike since I've stepped on campus. You know, it's not even the things that people ever see, it's the intangibles as well. You know, people don't even notice. I mean, Spike is one of the best point guards I've ever played with, but, you know, I mean, everything happens for a reason, and hopefully he has a good recovery.
What sort of intangibles does he bring to the court?
Well, his leadership ability, especially his leadership by example, I think that's the biggest thing. You know, the way he works, the way he shows toughness, his passion for the game. I think that's really going to rub off on a lot of our guys.
Albrecht's junior year was bittersweet. He was co-captain of a squad riddled with injuries and illness, including the debilitating hip that would ultimately end his career. But Spike soldiered on, winning a triple crown of sorts, earning the Travis Conlon Sportsmanship Award, the Steve Grody Hustle Award, and the Thad Garner Leadership Award. When the season ended, he was named the team's MVP.
Sneaks his way, hop step, top side, Albrecht for three. Yes! Spike Albrecht delivers, and Michigan's in front by 3.
Spike's influence and impact will be felt for years to come. A young man who made Chrysler Center a better place. His legacy, truly and forever, maize and blue. For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Ed Kingerski.
At some point, we all have tough decisions to make in life. Spike Albrecht had to make one earlier this week, deciding, in all intents and purposes, that you're retiring from basketball for 116 games, a 2-time co-captain. How difficult of a decision was it? How emotional was it for you?
It was real tough, you know. Obviously, just want to be out there playing. I've been playing since I was 3 years old, so it was a difficult decision. But after talking with my family, the coaches, the doctors, the trainers, we all kind of just felt that it was what was for the best interest for me. And that made it a little bit easier to come to grips with.
What is the situation? Why is this being basically forced upon you?
You know, I think it's ultimately, I just think I needed more time
to heal.
To heal in the end. I didn't want to go out there and play at 60, 70%. You know, that's not what I wanted. That's not what the coaches wanted. That's not why I got the surgery. You know, I didn't get the surgery to come back and play at 60, 70% and play with the same pain and some of the symptoms that I had from last year. So I'm going to really take this time, continue to rehab and attack my rehab and see if I can get myself back to full go.
Will you be able to help this team in any way, dressed in street clothes and a tie?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm still going to be around as much as I can. I'm going to be in the film room, going to be traveling. You guys, obviously, I'm sitting on the bench for games. I'm going to try to be in guys' ears during timeouts, huddle-ups, things like that, and just, you know, pass on what I know about the game of basketball to the younger guys and do whatever I can to help them.
What have you learned in your 4 years in Ann Arbor?
I've learned a lot. You know, the coaches have taught me a whole lot about the game and about life. You know, I came in thinking, you know, I was a pretty high EQ basketball player, and I thought I knew the game. But I didn't know nearly as much as I thought I did. You know, just simple things about offense and defense and, you know, what they're seeing and just kind of all of our minds clashing together. I feel like my basketball IQ has really stepped up since I've been here.
We all remember the 17 points against Louisville in the national championship game. That's one of the many memories I would guess you have dressed in maize and blue. Does anything stand out during the 4 years, or will that take some time to sit back and put a more retrospective look on it later on in life?
You know, right now it's kind of, I haven't really done like a lot of reflecting or thinking back. But I mean, definitely just, you know, the Final Four run we made my freshman year, sophomore year, you know, winning a Big Ten championship outright, celebrating in Chrysler, going to an Elite Eight, played in a lot of fun games. I traveled to a lot of really cool arenas, you know, traveled the world. Who would have thought I was just in Bahamas for Thanksgiving? You know, I haven't left the country except for when I was with Michigan. So I've had some unbelievable experiences here and plenty of great memories that will last forever.
I've always enjoyed our discussions. One of the best leaders, one of the class acts Michigan's ever had. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Sean.
The women's story is next, and it features twin sisters battling on the hard. And welcome back. After opening the season with 7 straight wins, the women's team fell to Princeton last Sunday on the road. The Wolverines made just 2 field goals in the opening quarter, shot just 24% in the opening half. The Wolverines trailed by 9 at intermission, and they cut the Tigers' lead to just 6 points in the third, but that's as close as they would get. Sophomore Caitlin Flaherty led the way offensively for Michigan, scoring a game-high 33 points. 74-57 the final from Princeton, New Jersey.
Michigan has just 1 game this week. It's this afternoon at Chrysler Center against UCLA. Sarah Van Meter has more on the special rematch.
Last April, UCLA came to Chrysler Center and beat Michigan 69-65 in the semifinals of the WNIT. Twin sister Danielle of Michigan was on the losing end of the game against Dominique.
I remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah, she talked a little bit of trash after the game too, and it was definitely too soon. And I went to UCLA in the summer, and a few people said some stuff to me, but yeah, it's very competitive. We're a very competitive family.
These twins aren't the only athletes in the family.
My dad played football in college. My mom didn't do any of it, but she's like super active now. My sister played basketball in high school and then ran track at Notre Dame. And then my brother played basketball and football in high school. Is still super active now, but didn't do anything in college.
Are you forgetting somebody?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about her. That's funny. Then my twin sister obviously plays basketball, and we've been playing together since forever, but yeah, she plays basketball at UCLA.
Why would you forget her?
I don't, honestly, I mean, she's injured right now, but I think it's just like always in my head, like, oh yeah, it's a given. Like, she plays basketball, I play basketball, she plays basketball. Just calling her just makes me so happy, and talking to her about little things, or I'll be like, oh my gosh, and think of her throughout the day, and I'll ask my teammates or I'll ask other people, and they just won't have the same understanding as she would. But yeah, she's really special. She's really one of a kind.
Danielle's a co-captain of this year's team, a good student who is considering law school. She was a National Honor Society member and student body president in high school. The psychology major is all about helping people, especially her young teammates. Danielle's excited to get another shot at UCLA and Dominique on Sunday, but no matter what happens in the game, Danielle knows she already made a winning decision by coming to Michigan.
Michigan has been a tremendous opportunity. I think even without basketball, my growth as a person and just with relationships, with me being more vocal, with me stepping out of my comfort zone has been tremendous. And I think in the first 2 years it has been so great, and I can't wait to see what the next 2 year holds. I think I'm a completely different person than I was when I first stepped on campus.
For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Sarah Van Meter.
Young Chad Carr touched so many, not just Michigan fans, but people everywhere. The courageous young boys' brothers CJ and Tommy Carr helped Michigan celebrate a Wolverine victory on Saturday. What a scene. That's what the Michigan family is really all about. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of Inside Michigan Basketball. Come on back next week. Until then, go Blue.
Inside Michigan Basketball, delivered by UPS. From figuring it out to getting it done, UPS is here to help. Visit solvers.ups.com to learn more. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By Absol Pure Water, the official bottled water of the Michigan Wolverines. And by Gardner White, you'll overpay anywhere else.